Hey, good evening, folks. How are you? It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear on a Wednesday evening. And welcome, welcome everyone. Uh, I hope you're having a reasonably good evening. Um, Odd Scimitar Gaming right out of the chute. I wasn't expecting piano music for the intro. Well, I had to have music. And I've talked so much at length about why I don't have uh, the music that I had for 2 years, 3 years, Summer Mountains. Um, but it is what it is. And right now, the best alternative I've got to anything is what I've got. It's a decent enough rendition of Invention 13 by Johannes Sebastian Bach, and it's a MIDI file, and that's it. Front 242 Bach cover as an intro coming when. Yeah, that would just land me back in trouble with a record label. So it is better than nothing, Odd. It is better than nothing. I do want to say, if you haven't already, please do click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications. And that would be super helpful, because YouTube has basically been caught with their uh, their pants down, and they are screwing with the algorithm a lot. So it's harder and harder for people to particularly small channels like mine to get notice, to get airplay out there. So if you guys can just throw me a subscribe if you like the stuff I do, give the video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. So tonight, before I get into what we were going to get into, Kyle wanted to be here. He wanted to be running some yes but post-apocalypse scenario for us. However, family stuff caught up with him this week, and he's got dad stuff to attend to. So we will hope that everything settles down in the Schuant household and that he can rejoin us next week. Odd, I really appreciate that. I really do. But hey, Paladin Steve, thank you very much for the super. Greetings to you too. Good Tron reference. Any Tron reference is a good Tron reference. Hey, Vile Necromancer, thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I owe you something, by the way. I have a microphone mount that's headed your way, my friend. I just got to get that taken care of. So thank you both very much for the supers. Robert Phillips says, you guess that's a no. I'm not sure what that's a no in reference to, but anyway, so moving right along. Of course, today's live stream is brought to you by me, by the Dungeon Delver, and Crom, the Character Record Organization Manager program that is not just about character generation, guys. It doesn't just roll up characters. Anybody can roll up a character, right? 3x5 card, 4d6, discard lowest, arranged to taste, bada bing, bada boom. But what happens next, guys? What happens next? What happens when that character you created survives a few sessions and they actually start to level? Well, then you've got to start taking care of inventory and consumables, and you got a nice piece of jewelry. Where do you hawk that? And how do you buy extra equipment after you do that? Well, guys, that's where Crom comes in. Character record organization manager software. With Crom, you don't just create a character, you breathe life into them and you follow them along in their lives. You can add experience points, add whole levels, age your characters, drain levels from them, sell gems and jewelry, buy equipment, buy a mount, buy equipment for that mount, buy transportation. Did you save up 50,000 gold and get a galley? Well, you can buy one with Crom. And hey, have you got a human who meets the requirements for dual classing, or even dual classing into Bard, or a half elf who can dual class into Bard? Guess what? Crom will make your Bard for you. Got a human who may have the potential for psionics, and they've got the or you've got a DM who's going to use that. Crom will check for psionics and assign disciplines. Did you need to create a high level magic user or high level illusionist right out of the box? Guess what, guys? Crom will generate spell books for high level magic users. It's really a good piece of software. If you like it, if that sounds like something that would be useful at your table, because guys, I'm going to tell you, it takes 5 minutes to create a character. I'll demonstrate it for you on the show if you want, but it takes 5 minutes to generate a character fully, from name to saved out in text or in HTML. 5 minutes, guys, not any more than that. If that sounds like something that would be useful at your table, whether you need to knock together an NPC, whether you need to help a character make a new character because they've just dropped into your game, let me know. Reach out to me on social media. You can reach me at bsylvia@gmail.com, as is scrolling right across down there. And for $25 dues, you can get yourself a copy of Crom, and that gets you a program that runs on Windows 8, 8.1, 10, and 11, 32 or 64-bit, and on Linux through Wine. That's all the places you can take Crom, guys. I would say so. Others might say it's something quite atrocious. Bob, I feel you, brother. But what was it Savo said? And what's it say to the sheriff when he comes collecting taxes? I don't. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. My browser just froze up. Hope you guys can still hear me okay. My browser froze. Sorry about that, guys. I was like, la, 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 and then it just stopped moving. So I'm back. Fear not, I'm back. Vile Necromancer, thank you very much for your endorsement of Crom. I do appreciate it. I placed the one ring on, yes. Hey, Halsey, good to see you, sir. Anyway, so guys, that's Crom. It's a great program. If you have a need for, I don't like to brag, but I would say the most complete first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons creation and management software for characters ever created, then let me know. Did you get sent to Professor Dungeon Master? I don't know. So I guess I will take some time then in this moment to tell you guys about a couple of upcoming events. Um, if you have missed it, I have decided going forward when we will be having the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention from now on until I shuffle off this mortal coil, which hopefully won't be for a little bit. The guac will be, let me see which weekend this is. I don't want to say second if it's the third. Hey, Tolemicus. Hey, RPG Grandma. The guac will be held on the second weekend of April. And that's this coming April 2026. So we've got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's 8 months away, but there we are. And if you're new here, you might not know what the guac is. The guac is the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. It is a free online virtual convention for anybody that wants to stop by the Discord. And Discord is where we do it, because Discord, we've got a die roller, Discord has pretty good audio video tools, and it's generally good times. We have a lot of fun. We've been doing it for 4 years. We're going into our 5th year, but I have moved it around some time-wise. This past year, it was way late in the spring. I've had it mid-spring. I've tried to put it when it wouldn't interfere with things. And it seems like no matter where I go, it's gonna mess with somebody. And so why we have the guac is, you guys, if you don't know this, you guys basically browbeat me into having what had originally started as I'm gonna host a demo, like I'm gonna do a demo of Dungeon or a demo of Space Hulk or something like that. And you guys gradually extracted from me, slowly but surely, you got from me promise, if you will, of not just a game session, not just a game day, but a whole darn virtual convention. And you got me to do that because we hit 1,000 subs on the channel. And that was around March. That was around March of 2021 that we did that, about mid-March, that I crossed over from less than 1,000 to 1,000 subs. It was a lot of fun. Mid-March is my wedding anniversary. So rather than potentially stomp on that, I decided to move it to April. But April, it will stay. April, it will stay. We are stuck on April, and I'm super excited about that. You need to get me to 8K. No, if you want an IRL convention, Grandma, RPG Grandma, it is 10K. 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I will stage an in real life gaming convention. It will still be called the guac, the Great Underground Overland Gaming Convention. But that's when I hit 10,000 subs, and I am completely safe making that, because I'm not going to get the remaining 2,700 subs it's going to take to break 10,000. So yeah, 10,000 subs, guys, and we'll have an IRL gaming con. So that's That's my promise to you. So that's the convention news. And let me know if you want the link to the Discord. I'm going to do a video between now and then, which I will just re-upload, or I'll do it again or whatever, of how to register your game and how to sign up for games on the Discord, because we do have a gaming grid. It's just called what is it? Sesh. Doomsword set up the Sesh bot for us in the con Discord, so you don't have to go out and find a gaming grid on another website and then get anything. There are no badges, there are no fees for joining. I will always take donations to helping keeping the con going, because the con, believe it or not, is 24 hours. If you're from the Eurozone, if you're from the Pacific Rim, if you're from down under, if I don't care where you're from, if you're like, hey, I want to run a game for people from the UK, or here's somebody running a game and they're going to put it at the time that I can be in it, you are absolutely welcome to schedule a game in what would not be an 8 in the morning to midnight at night Eastern Standard game time. If your game starts at 3 in the morning BST, that's fine. That's absolutely okay. But as far as scheduling it and getting in the grid and that sort of thing, it's actually really easy to do via Sesh. And I'll show you guys how to do that. I will I will do a video. I'll live stream about it a little bit. Sesh is so easy to use. Doomsword helped set it up, bless him. And so he and I can do that, or I can do that with the notes that he gave me about that. Sesh is really, really, really easy to use. You don't have to go to another website. You don't have to get a virtual badge or anything like that. You'll go to the Discord, you'll hop on, and you'll use Sesh. Yes, it is. Everything is through Sesh. That you'll see who's playing, who's waiting for an open spot, who's wants to come in and watch the game. Oh, and that's something else. You are welcome if a game master is cool with people just watching their games. You are welcome to watch a game. You are not welcome to be disruptive. So no grousing from the sidelines, no telling players that, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I played this module. There's a trap in there. None of that. None of that. But you can absolutely watch it from the sidelines if a game master allows that. I know a lot of game masters have, and I know a lot of people. Take care, Rob Turner. Thanks for stopping by. I know a lot of people have gotten into games because of that. Like, hey, that person had to leave. Can I have their character? Sure. So it's a good bit of fun. We will have merch. I have already formulated in my head what I want the 5th guac. I think the 5th year should be something a little special. So I've got a good idea. And something else I do want to point out. So we got merch, we've got games. What about panels? You might ask. What about special interest panels? Well, yes, we will. Yes, we will have panels. This past year, we had Yang Yin Zhao, we had Alyssa Hazel, we had Tracy Lesh. We had a lot of people come in and do panels. I've invited R.H. Snow to be in a panel for Guac. I'm pretty sure Tracy wants to do it. Richard Witters has held a panel before. Sky Hernstrom has done panels before. So we're definitely definitely going to do some panels. Dying Breed Tabletop is doing like a 2-hour panel on game design theory for story games, using 5th edition as a framework for exploring psychological issues. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you, Dying Breed. But no, we're going to have a lot of panels. We had Heidi and Eric on a panel uh, last year, and that was oodles of fun. So don't miss out. Don't miss out on the on anything we're going to do during the guac. It is from Thursday the 9th to Sunday the 12th. We're going to open probably at 4:00 on Thursday, possibly at 8:00 on Thursday. But we'll see. But we're going to cram a lot of gaming in there, guys, and it's going to be a bunch of fun. So I hope you will bring your virtual dice and come and plop down in front of your computer and meet some folks. Now, one cool thing about this is this. I know a lot of people are like, dude, it's current year. We don't need virtual cons anymore. Well, I can't really do an IRL con until I break 10,000 subs on the channel. But I will tell you, I've had most people come back to me and say that this is an absolute blast. They formed gaming groups. They've asked me, hey, can we come back in the con space and do our games in there? I'm like, absolutely. Just don't leave your paper cups and your pizza boxes everywhere, right? But what about your ethereal dice? Bring your ethereal dice, Vile Necromancer. Just bring them. So yeah, guys, guac is happening the 9th through the 12th. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, the 9th through the 12th of April. And there's no reason not to be there. There's no reason not to come and hang out. Whether it's one session, whether you have the Discord open all day, whether you're coming for the panels, just however you want to do it, you can do it. And if you're interested in being a panelist also, let me know. Let me know what you do, what you want to do, and I'm sure we could work something out. So that's the guac. And I'm yes, it's tradition. You wish you could do that, both schedule and ability. There's no way I could fulfill either. Oh, you can't. Well, you'll be there in spirit, Dying Breed. But anyhow, so moving on to other business. I've talked about this before, and I'm going to keep talking about this. We have last year we gave away as holiday gifts 4 items here on the show, new items, new stuff. We gave away a Jack's Arcade mini Pac-Man machine. We gave away an Icons of the Realm Red Dragon. That's a replica of the Red Dragon that's on the cover of Holmes Introductory. We gave away a D&D cookbook, and we gave away a pretty spiffy Mobile Suit Gundam model. This holiday season, I decided I wanted to do it again, but I started thinking, well, what do I want to give away? What do I want to give away? And I decided on what I'm going to give away. And that's as much as I'm going to tell about how I came to the decision of what I'm going to give away. It is TTRPG stuff, not related, not like, ABD, a mini arcade game. Well, yeah, I talked about I'm not sure what you're asking, Jess. And a mini arcade game. No, not giving away any more mini arcade games. Sorry. I hope Santa brings me a third, actually. But but it is RPG stuff. It is handmade by me. This will be your only opportunity to win this. I will reveal on October 1st what our holiday giveaway items are. There's 4 of them, and we're going to spin the wheel 4 times. 4 times. And 4 lucky winners. You'll each get one of what I'm giving away. This is, like I said, your chance to win this. It is one time only. It's not 3D printed miniatures. It's not crocheted miniatures. It's not a Santa Wizard's hat. This is RPG stuff, not RPG related. And again, I will reveal on October 31st. This is limited to this contest. For entry into it, you must be a paid patron or a paid YouTube member. You can become a patron. There's the link scrolling right across the bottom there. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. YouTube membership is YouTube membership, which I think the link is over here somewhere under y'all's chat. YouTube membership is $1.99 a month. So if you want to go the thrifty route, Patreon's the cheaper of the two. Now, I will tell you this. You must be a patron or YouTube member no later than October 31st. October 31st is the close bracket. Don't say, but it's November 1st. I'm still in, right? No. You have between now and October 31st. When the clock rolls over from 11:59:59 to 12 o'clock, which is the first moment of the morning of November 1st, it's too late. But you can become a patron or a YouTube member, and then you are automatically in the running. We have a wheel. I'm going to put everybody's name on it. We're going to spin it. It's an electronic wheel. It's a digital wheel. 4 times. 4 times. I'm going to spin that wheel. When you see on October 31st what I have in store for you guys, on October 1st. October 1st is the reveal. You'll probably, like, if you're out there like, nah, whatever, it's not going to be that cool. It's going to be like a, whatever you've got in your mind. When you see, you're gonna get hyped for it. So do not sleep on this when you see what it is. Do not. It is kind of a once in a lifetime chance to win this. I won't do it again next year. 2026, if I do a gift giveaway, will be something completely different. This is going to be the high point. And really, I mean, it's a good 5th anniversary of the channel celebration, right? And I guess technically the 5th anniversary was back in March of this year, but, to close out the year for Void in New Jersey and Nevada. It's something that's just phenomenal, guys. Dice Advent Calendar. Yes, we're doing a Dice Advent Calendar. I'm not getting another one from I don't think Dudragao exists anymore as a company, which sucks because I really liked their stuff. The second year we got a Dice Advent from Dudragao. So let me pull this out. This is the first one that I got from them. Yes, I kept the box. I don't know what the protocol for these is. Do you just throw away your Advent boxes or what? But oh, and here's the second one. This one was gorgeous. This one was absolutely sumptuous. And no, I don't have the one that the AI slop came in last year. So this year I'm doing my own. This year we're gonna have a Dice Advent Calendar. I'm having the dice custom made for the Advent Calendar, and it's going to be pretty neat. I think you guys are going to like it quite a bit. So we will have an Advent Calendar. You guys will see it. We'll open it. We'll roll them. They won't be a surprise to me. I don't think I don't think they'll be a surprise to me, but that's life. But anyway, that's the holidays. Don't come crying to me in mid-December saying, "Oh, I just went back and watched all your videos. I didn't know." I will talk about this from now till Halloween. Don't even joke about that, Bob. I got my mom. But I will talk about this from now until Halloween, guys. And make no mistake, I think on October 1st, you're going to be like, you're just going to be like, Patreon, 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 Patreon. Membership, 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 membership. I'm not saying you're going to get multiple memberships and Patreons. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you'll almost certainly want what I've got going. But I will also tell you that there is no, and I don't know, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot. Maybe I should only do this for people at the Master Thief level of Patreon, but that's not what I'm doing. That's simply not how I'm doing this. So don't think, and your name's only going in there once. Like if you're like, I'm gonna become a patron and a YouTube member. One time only. It is one per household. It is one per household. So if you're like, well, I'm going to get me and my wife and all my kids, it's one per household. But it's open to all patron or membership levels, but you have to be paid. If you're like, I can become a patron for free, you have to be a paid patron. You have to be a paid member. What if your dog sleeps outside? If you get this and give it to your dog, I salute you. Fuzzy socks. I've had a stage in my life where if I get fuzzy socks, I'm happy. Remind you owe me a late Christmas present when you're down in Florida this spring. By Well, I presume by this spring you mean 2026, this coming spring, not not hop in my DeLorean and set the flux capacitor time circuits to early to 2025. Um, Vile, let me ask you something. Let me just if it's something that you've 3D printed, keep that on the down low between you and me, because that my table that you printed up, Mrs. the Dungeon Delver absconded with that. It is gone. It is a tchotchke on her curio shelf, and she will fight me over that thing. I'm not saying you can't give me something 3D. I'm just saying. But anyway, so that's the announcement stuff that I wanted to get to. Okay, good call. Good call. That's the announcement stuff that I wanted to talk about. And I now open up the floor for any and all D&D commentary and questions you guys have got. One thing that I am considering doing for show content, and I've talked about this a couple of times this week, is I have been asked to do actually, well, it was Kabuki Kid that kind of gave me the idea. I think it's just good content, but I've really got to have things set up a little differently here in the old Delver's Dungeon to do it properly. And that is an art book deep dive. Now, this is if you're out there listening, Kabuki, if you're hanging out on the fringes, this is not it. This is not the deep dive. Do not worry. I am not going without you. But just briefly, I want to do a shallow dive of what I've got here on my art shelf and what I can and can't show. So we'll start with the high end of the alphabet. I love my EdCon badge, but God, it's in the way. I'll find a good home for that where you guys can still see it. So we'll start up at the top end of the alphabet. This is Diary of a Space Person. This is by Chris Foss. I can show you guys about half of the illustrations in this. Now, if you're familiar with the Terran Trade Authority books, let me zoom in on this a little. If you're familiar with the Terran Trade Authority art books that came out in the 70s and 80s, first of all, if you still have them, good for you. They're worth a pretty penny. But second of all, there's a whole bunch of this I can't show you because Mr. Foss, this book is basically, despite the fact that it's illustrations, is a photo journal by a young woman who spends a few years bopping around the galaxy. She is quite the libertine. Let me just say, she is quite the libertine. While none of it is what I would call pornographic, Mr. Foss nonetheless appreciates the female human form. And about half the illustrations in this book are of her. He has them as self-portraits, but so despite the fact that this is crammed full of cool spaceships and everything like that, can't show it. Because on page A, there's a cool spaceship. On the facing page B, the female form, very, very, very accurately depicted. I mean, yeah, here's a cool picture of a robot being destroyed, and then across the page from it is something I can't show you guys. But like stuff like this, I mean, that's cool. I can show you guys that. But another problem with the art books is that they don't like to lay down flat, and it doesn't really do it justice. And furthermore, the like forcing this to lay down flat would split the glue, and I don't want that to happen. No, it's not the spaceships. It's not the spaceships, Kennick. That's not what I'm talking about. So, can't really show off Chris Foss. However, ironically, something I can show off is some Frank Frazetta. I've gotten away with showing Frazetta stuff before, and I haven't gotten tagged for it. So we'll be taking a look at some Frazetta. Lots of good Frazetta work. So, and again, I'll have to be discreet. So there's some Frank Frazetta. Now, I believe I have a fairly complete directory of Frank Frazetta illustrations somewhere. And most of the illustrations that are in Illustrations Arcanum are actually in my collection of images, so I can share those with you on the screen. So what else do we have from Frank? We have the Frazetta Pillow Book. I can show you most of the Frazetta Pillow Book. Well, maybe not. Maybe not any of the Frazetta Pillow Book. So those are some of the art books I've got so far. Of course, we had Keenan James on. We'll take a closer look at monsters. This is just a great book. It's an awesome looking frost giant, for example. So we'll take a look at this one. This one being a hardback book, it will lay down, and when I get a good camera set up, one I have been eager to share with you guys, and I tell you what, I feel like such a fanboy for the dude's stuff, but I am absolutely eager to share his work with you. Is Matt Rhodes art, Tellurion. Guys, let me tell you something. This is a visual novel. No, I don't mean it's a comic book. I don't mean it's a graphic novel. It is an entirely visual novel. You get the story by looking at the sumptuous illustrations in this. Get yourself a copy of Tellurion. This story cries out to be read, dudes. This is an amazing story, and I can't wait to share Matt's art in that one with you. And I have his hardback Matt Rhodes art book, which features a bunch of his illustrations. Now, if you're curious about Matt Rhodes, Matt's like the earlier Dragon Age games, a bunch of Star Wars games, a bunch of Star Wars stuff. Matt did the art for those. Matt did all the concept art for those. If that gives you an idea, if you loved those earlier games. So we're going to look at his art book as well. I mean, I could make a whole show of taking you guys one illustration at a time through Tellurion, but one, that would take too long, and two, that's a journey you should go on yourself. There is a delightful twist ending that I almost guarantee you won't see coming. I can almost guarantee you won't see coming. Now, next up, this. Oh, did I? Yes, I did. I did not mean to do this, but I did not mean to skip over Regis's art. If you guys like Frazetta, we're going to include the Regis Malone art books in there. Those are definitely going to be in the art book deep dive. I'm a little worried because Regis has gone silent. He was doing maybe he's gotten a job that just requires him to do nothing but art and not share anything with it. But I'll tell you a little something about these art books. I firmly believe that when the holidays roll around, and it's whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever, there is a point at which if you have money left after you've bought gifts, after you've given to charity, after you've taken care of everything you need taken care of, if there's some left, you got to spend some on yourself. You have to. You absolutely have to. You have to have something that you can pick up, even if it's before Christmas, and just leaf through and enjoy and look at and appreciate and take in just for you. Just for you. Whether it's a nice dinner out, whether it's a comfy pair of slippers, whether it's a spiffy new t-shirt, a new set of gaming dice, a computer game you've wanted, something, anything. So for 2 years running, that's what I did with Regis's art books. Regis is very inspired. Hey, Excalibur, good to see you. Regis is very inspired by Frank Frazetta, and it shows, as you guys will see. And I went the extra mile, and I've shown this off before, and I'm going to do it again now. I went the extra mile and got Regis to sign his books. This is how Regis signs his books, with overleaf or with interior cover and overleaf sized illustrations to your specification. It's not just a signature. It's not just a dedication. That is the amount of personalization. And he sent me pictures as he was working on this. And he said, okay, Bill, if you want signed, what do you want? And I said, a witch dancing by a fire. And so I got that lovely, seductive, sexy Maleficent. And that was the first year when I bought Heroic. And, or rather, when I bought Malone. When I bought Heroic, he was like, you want it signed? And I was like, hell yes. And so he said, what do you want? And I was like, a good witch dancing by fire. And you know what? I got this. 2 absolutely gorgeous pieces of custom artwork that are unique to my copies. And we're going to look at all of his stuff. We're going to enjoy these books fully. So, as I was saying, I have a stack here. It's about 5 inches thick. I don't even know if I can show the cover of this. Yeah, I guess I can get away with that. The work of Hajime Soriyama. If you know, you know. Now, I was kind of taken aback when I was given this for free from a dear friend, because um, this is a gallery pamphlet. Like there was an exhibition of his work in Los Angeles, and the only way you got this was paying to go into the exhibition and getting a copy of this, and yet it's found its way to me. So I have this. I have the Gynoids. I have a 3-volume set, Pussycat Kill Kill Kill, Dominatrix Heaven, and Tokyo Sweet Gwendolyn. They are by Soriyama, an artist that goes by the nom de plume Rock and Jelly Bean, and Katsuya Terada. Cannot show those. Not even a little bit. Cannot show those. The titles should probably give you an indication as to why. The Gynoids. Gynoid is simply female robot. Can't show you that. I might get away with a few out of Hyper Illustrations. Probably none out of Sexy Robot. And definitely none out of this self-titled art book. So I will curate very carefully Hyper Illustrations and see if there's some stuff in there I can show off. By the way, you guys are free to ask any TTRPG questions that you want if you want me to talk about D&D related stuff. Okay, and the next two. I have Intron Depot Volumes 1 and 2, although I understand that there's now like 13 of them that Shiro Masamune has compiled. They're basically all of the art that he's done, like thumbnails and that sort of thing. I mean, obviously not all of the art, not like every panel of Ghost in the Shell, every panel of Appleseed, but like covers. He's done CD inlay art for music CDs, movie posters, things like that. And I have the first two here. I'll have to curate, but mostly they should be safe to show on camera. And last but absolutely not least, oh, there is something for Zeta related I forgot to mention that we're going to do on the art deep dive, and I'll come back to that in a second. Definitely not last nor least, I have 2 Boris Vallejo art books. I have The Fantastic Art of Boris Vallejo, which I got from the Science Fiction Book Club when I was the tender age of, I think, 14. But I also have Mirage, which I remember seeing Mirage advertised, and I dare not order it back then because basically it had a big old NSFW mature audiences only note in the listing in the SFBC catalog. And Boris's wife at the time, Doris, yes, her name was Doris. She wrote romantic poetry. Some of it dips into the adult intimacy. Nothing gross, but I was just like, I don't know why this got like. There's plenty of cheesecake in the fantastic art of Boris Vallejo. So I don't know why Mirage got tagged and the fantastic art didn't. So we'll take a look at Vallejo's art. Yeah. Hey, Watcher, how are you? By the way, Watcher the Damned, R.H. Snow will be one of our panelists at Guac 5 in 2026. Okay, so Praxis has got a D&D question. So, and hugs to you too, Watcher. But before I get to Praxis's question, the last art thing we're going to get into, and I want to preface this by saying, tarot cards are bullshit. These no more depict fate or reality or anything like that than rolling a set of dice to see what the results are. But I thought this was pretty cool. This is the Frank Frazetta Tarot. I backed this on Kickstarter, and when it arrived in the mail, it was scooped up, wrapped up, and put under the tree, despite the fact that I'd paid for it myself. I was a little salty about that. But all of these have a lovely hollow foil Frazetta illustration on them, and I will endeavor to get to get good pictures of them. But I will also mention there are 2 books that came with a set, because I backed it at that level, that have all of the illustrations in. Like the next level up from what I backed was these were hardback volumes, and the whole thing came with a wooden box, but I didn't really see that as necessary. So we will add the Frazetta Tarot to our art books that we look at when we do our art book deep dive. And as much stuff as I've got, guys, art book deep dive may become a series. Okay, so let's get back to some D&D stuff, some D&D related stuff. And I'll put the tarot right there. They are nice cards, Watcher. Praxis asks, in AD&D, what races, if any, suffer 20% failure chance when using rings? And he noted that. 20% failure chance when using rings beside halflings. So, I don't know, to the best of my knowledge, only halflings have that noted. However, since you do not note player race, I will say any race given a magic resistance percentage chance, drow, for example, demons, devils of various types, or divas, solars, planetars, they don't have to be evil, but if it has a magic resistance, even if they want the ring to work, then that magic resistance is always on. That's not something they can turn off. So thank you, Bob Jester, for hanging out. Be well. So you take a look at a given creature that has a magic resistance percentage chance listed, even like, and I would deem it like, if it's a ring with a continual effect, ring of regeneration, for example, only 1 check is needed as long as the ring is on. If they remove the ring and then put it back on, they have to make a magic resistance check again. You know, you've got a friendly fey being or something that is resistant to magic. Let's see. What might we have here? Gonna scroll down a little bit. Give me just a second. Where did she go? There she is. Okay, dryads. Dryads are 50% magic resistant. She's got a ring of regeneration. She's accompanying, she's helping the party. She sees someone's mortally injured. She takes off her ring of resistance. She offers it to the high charisma character. They don it. They're normal human. It starts regenerating them. They become whole again. They hand it back to her. She dons it. She has to then make a magic resistance check to see if she resists the ring's magic, even though she wants it to work. And she may not know until she takes damage. And well, the poor fragile dryad is only 2 hit dice. It may be too late. So, yes, any creature that has a magic resistance, not dwarves. Dwarves have preternaturally high saving throws versus magic and so on, but that does not imbue a natural magic resistance above saving throws. RPG Grandma says, I guess the new D&D has made it hard to kill PCs. Now folks are suggesting mechanics to deplete instead. You're welcome, Praxis. I tell you what, you want to see people screech? Run 5e and throw level drain into it. The ghoul or the white touches you. Okay, do I take 1d6 plus 1d4 necrotic? You lose a level. Watch what happens. You lose a level. You're not a 5th level warlock anymore. You're 4th level warlock. What? Well, you're freaking out about that. He hits you again. You take 7 points of damage. You're a 3rd level warlock. Yes. It is terrifying and it is dreaded. And that is why players should treat mere whites with a lot of respect. I once rolled up a layer of whites, all of them. I think like 12 can be together at once. Let's look that up. It was damn near maximum amount. Oh no, it's 2 to 16. Yeah, and I rolled like 14 or 15. And the party just went right into this tomb area, and sarcophagi start opening. Doors in the walls start opening, and they were surrounded. Yeah, they got some good treasure. I mean, when you have near max, you got to put a little joss on the treasure roll, and give them a little bit more than standard. Now, there's one that's in the Fiend Folio, and I've always kind of felt like this was a solution to a problem that didn't have to exist, and that is the Disenchanter. You know, it looks like a dromedary with an elephantine trunk, and it'll roam into the party and suck levels of protection out of, or charges out of, or whatever, out of magic items. I think putting one of those in your campaign is good, but I don't feel like you should make those a regular encounter. One of the literal, like, I wanted to throw the book across the room things that I ever read, except it was on my computer and I didn't want to damage it. In 4E was if a rust if a rust monster eats a magic item, you can cut the rust monster open and get the residuum out, and then take that to a smith, and they can make you a new magic item. It's like saying if the tiger eats a party member, you can cut the tiger open and take the bits of your friend out and go find a cleric and make a new person. That's not how that works. What is my favorite magic item as a player and as a DM? As a player, as a guy who does love the paladin, I will say magic armors. Magic armors, you know. It's the defensive onion that they talk about in tanks. You know, don't be seen. If you're going to be seen, don't be hit. And magic armor, you know, it is better to not be hit than to have somebody who can heal you if you do get hit. As a dungeon master, favorite magic item, Munificent. Because if we're talking Munificent, then I'm going to go with Intelligent Swords. Ah, yes, the Lord of Rodley Might. And yes, that was on purpose. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Intelligent Swords. I like to play them up as much as possible. I decided that a longsword that one of the characters has in the Monday night game, because it can detect gems and what kind within a radius, and it forever wants more and more elaborate decorations on its scabbard, its pommel, its handle, its crosspiece. I decided that it talks like John Delancey. So I made a soundboard in the Discord, fed John Delancey's voice into 11 Labs, and I have a few phrases that it'll say periodically. Now that's an interesting point, Joe. In the case of a fighter, I'm almost tempted to say put it in con, because at one point may make all the difference if you are hit. I'm going to try something, guys. You guys are going to have to tell me if you hear this. Let me see if this will work. So I'm going to try and play one of these, and then you guys let me know. Oh, is it going to? There we go. So you guys tell me if this makes a sound that y'all can hear. Okay, did you guys hear anything there? Because I clicked play on that. I don't know that that worked. And I'm not screwing with my sound settings. Okay, so you guys didn't hear anything. That's fine. All right. Well, it's kind of fun because like one of them that I have literally I play it's it says conspiratorially I just love the way it came out. One of the players in the game runs a dwarf named Grindel, and sometimes I'll just have the sword say, I think Grindel is holding out on us, Petra. He's a dwarf, and you know how they are about gems. So think of John Delancey, who voiced the Q in Star Trek: The Next Generation, saying that in a very conspiratorial voice. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. Unfortunately, unless I pay for Discord, which I'm not going to pay for Discord at all, period, end of story. I don't the clips can only be like 6 seconds long. And I can only have like 9, or else I would give that thing a world of discussion to natter the party with. I would play with it a lot more. The next intelligent sword they get, I'm going to do that, but it's going to be Brian Blessed's voice, depending on what the sword does. That's a shame. That is a darn shame that you guys couldn't hear that. Let's open the soundboard. Yeah, it's not going to let me do anything with it. You hope the Brian Blessed sword goes to. I could do that. I could absolutely do that. I could set up. I got a bunch of buttons on my Stream Deck that don't do anything. Sword and knife combo. Now, you know what's interesting is the Dungeon Master's Guide only mentions swords as having a possibility of being intelligent. But one of the earliest modules was White Plume Mountain, which features not just Black Razor, an intelligent sword, but Wave and Whelm. Wave being a trident, Whelm being a mace or hammer. I can't remember which now. That are also intelligent. I used to be of the mind that was only ever swords, but a good bellwether for what is or is not possible in a D&D game, in my opinion, is welcome back, Odd Scimitar. One of the things that I think is a good bellwether is it supported by official outside sources other than modules? And it is. In the Dungeon Master's Assistant Volume 2, Characters and Treasures, if you go through and you generate a bunch of magic weapons, you will occasionally get intelligent hammers, maces, spears, swords, axes, the works. I haven't seen it do intelligent bows, Damien, but I have seen it do the aforementioned items. And I mean, when you look at deities and demigods is full of the weapons of deities and demigods that are listed as being intelligent. I mean, Mjolnir, hello. Odin's spear is an intelligent weapon. And in the Dungeon Master's Guide, the axe of the Dwarvish Lords. The axe is intelligent. It acts as though it has a brain. But yeah, I think there's plenty of room. I would literally just treat it like you would a magic sword. The only thing I would say is that when it comes to intelligent weapons, maybe you decide rather than let the dice decide. Because 1 in 4 magic swords in D&D are intelligent. 1 in 4 are intelligent. Think about that for a minute. 25 out of 100 magic swords, which is less of a, oh my God, 25 out of 100 magic swords are intelligent, and more of a, this is kind of how rare magic should probably be. Odd Scimitar, any advice on running AD&D for only 1 player and 1 dungeon master? Well, Rob Turner kind of beat me to it. Retainers. The Axe of the Dwarvish Lord set seems to be the magic gear Thor wears to, huh? He doesn't need the Axe of the Dwarvish Lords to wield Mjolnir. I'm not 100% sure what you're stating there, Damien. I'm not. Answer unclear. Try again. Yes. Make sure that they hire some retainers. Don't be afraid to have a friendly henchman accompany them. Remembering that henchmen are leveled NPCs. Let them run more than 1 character if they want. Definitely don't solo them through a published module unless they're incredibly brilliant players and their character is very high level. Okay, I see what you're asking, Damien. The Axe of the Dwarvish Lords. Well, let's look that up in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Oh my gosh, Odd. I would let them run like 12 characters if they're not experienced playing AD&D. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I would almost play it as a wow. All right, so here we go. The Axe of the Dwarvish Lords. Let's see. You know what? We can share this. Okay. Legend relates that the greatest dwarf who ever lived, the first dwarven king, forged this weapon in the volcanic fires with the aid of a patron god. It passed from dwarven monarch to dwarven monarch until it was lost in the invoked devastation centuries gone. Rumors persist of the appearance of the axe from time to time in various places, but it supposedly bears a curse. The blade of the axe is equal to a sword of sharpness, and it is backed by a head equal to a +3 hammer. The handle extends or contracts upon command, equal to a battle axe or hand axe for throwing, and the axe will return 30 feet to its thrower. The possessor has dwarven abilities of infravision, trap detection, etc., double abilities of dwarf. The possessor's lifespan is 50% longer than normal, but he or she becomes more and more dwarf-like with time until eventually he or she exactly resembles one. And then it lists the you pick them powers. I think what you're thinking of is the Dwarven Thrower. Let's look at the Dwarven Thrower. Appears to be a standard +2 hammer, but if in the hands of a dwarven fighter and the special command word is spoken, its full potential is realized. The +3 bonus is gained, and the following characteristics. The hammer has a 6-inch range and will return to its wielder's hand in much the same manner as a boomerang would. It has +3 to hit and damage. When so hurled, the hammer does double damage against all opponents save giants, against whom it causes triple damage. Now, the Hammer of Thunderbolts might be what you're thinking of. Hello, Doc Flamingo. So the Hammer of Thunderbolts. You have to be 1801 to use it, and more than 6 feet tall, so dwarves can't use it. The hammer functions as +3 and gains double damage dice on any hit. If the wielder wears any girdle of giant strength and gauntlets of ogre power, in addition, he or she may properly wield the weapon if the hammer's true name is known. When swung or hurled, it gains +5 double damage dice, all girdle and gauntlets bonus, and strikes dead any giant upon which it scores a hit. And then it just kind of goes from there. That is, yeah. Gauntlets of ogre power, girdle of giant strength, and the hammer of thunderbolts. Yeah, that must be a 3rd edition thing, Damien. I had not heard of that. For the dwarven, dwarven thrower, or for the axe of the dwarvish lords. So, fun fact, Stan Lee came up with the idea that Thor spun his hammer and threw it, holding onto the leather thong to fly. Very cool. It's funny. At the risk of losing subscribers when I say this, and Lord knows I hope I don't, I did not get up in arms over Thor Ragnarok. I quite liked it, in fact. If nothing else, for the opening and closing battles. I mean, come on. Taika Waititi is not like perfect for every project. In fact, I can think of a very narrow range of films he is good at doing. Comedies, small, low budget comedies. But playing Immigrant Song in its entirety in the fight on the Bifrost, yeah, I was okay with that. Yes, the gauntlets and the girdle bonuses stack. Daniel. So I was not one of those people who freaked out because Heimdall was played by a black guy. Why there were different races in Asgard. The people getting up in arms over that clearly never read the old Thor comics. I remember there was an outlay. I can't remember if it was in the Handbook to the Marvel Universe or if it was an issue of Thor, but it was a map of what Asgard was, like where you could go for places. Jojo Rabbit is amazing. I love Jojo Rabbit to death. Choked up during Jojo Rabbit. Um, Hunt the Wilder People. Shit just got real. Click, 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 clack. Oh my God, what a scene. What We Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. But anyway, so there's a map in an issue of Thor. And like the places they indicate, like shopping mall. Shopping mall. They talk about a shopping plaza. For people who are like, this is not true to Norse, pump the brakes. Nothing about the Thor comic book was true to Norse mythos. Beta Ray Bill, a guy with a horse's skull for a head, wielded Mjolnir for a while. That's not in any of the mythology sections of any of the books on Norse myths I've read. Exactly. So I liked Thor Ragnarok. I'll say this, just from a film standpoint, Love and Thunder, or whatever it was, the fourth one was cringe. I hated that movie. Did not care for Love and Thunder. The family saw Loki and loved it. I didn't tune in. I was looking more for, because the trailers led me to believe that like this would be a dimension hopping Loki out there doing crazy Loki things, like the Loki is really DB Cooper, which by the way, big ups to the makeup department and everybody for making Tom Hiddleston look like the illustrations of DB Cooper that they got, the police sketches of DB Cooper. Yeah, that basically did it for me too, Rob. So yeah, I was looking for, here's Loki hopping across time and space, doing all kinds of shenanigans because he got the stone again in Endgame. Um, I I didn't see that. It was like, okay, Loki's a palooka. We're just gonna laugh at him and slap him for a bunch of episodes. I didn't really want that. You know, he was a major villain in 3 movies and just kind of reduced to a palooka, just sort of a punchline in the TV show. So it is a major artifact in first edition also, Damien, the Axe of the Dwarvish Lords. It's just it's just different in how it's handled, literally in how it's handled. Okay, Joe, maybe I'll give it a look. Um, but anyway, we were talking about Mjolnir and so on. I have no doubt of that they put in the Epic Level Handbook. This is when that power curve just went rip. So any other AD&D questions, stuff I can help you nice people with? Because I've been going for like an hour and a half now. I can keep going. By the way, we're up to 199 eyes on this live stream. I know the majority of people watching along are out there on YouTube, but some folks have said hello off of the Twitch space. So thank you if you've done that. I appreciate it. It really helps if you click the subscribe button, guys. It really, really does. Let's see, where are we at? that's a mighty generous offer, Odd Scimitar. Odds. Don't want to play OD&D with you as. Wait, are you asking me if my reading comprehension is a little off? Are you saying you want to be the DM? Are you saying with me as the DM, do I want to play OD&D with you? No, if we're gonna play OD&D, I'm gonna do 3d6 down the line, Odd. And I'm guessing you mean you as the DM. Odd, I will have to see what my schedule's like, because I mean, I'm 5 nights a week here. 5 nights a week. So it would have to be on a weekend that I could do it. Let's see. We're 7352 on the old Subscribatron. Yeah, just DM me, direct message me, or catch me over on Discord or something odd, and we'll talk about it. It is good. It is good to be a player every now and again. I hope to get some play in at the Guac. I'm probably going to put my first game in, and that will be, actually, it will not be D&D. I'm going to be running some Tales from the Loop. What's the cheapest way to obtain D&D, not counting clones? Cheapest way to obtain D&D is DriveThruRPG. Hit up DriveThruRPG and snag those PDFs. They are built off of the 2014 reprints. So unfortunately, I don't think you have percent liar, but otherwise they're cromulent. Sounds neat, Wonderful Wizard of Games. Sounds really neat. Original D&D, yes. In fact, I can do this. Let me do this. Do that. And I will share the link with you. DriveThruRPG. Come on. Pop up. Open up. There we go. All right. So here you go. right there. I'm not an affiliate. This is not a paid endorsement or anything of the like, but there you guys go. Original D&D available for your easy purchase. $9.99. Now Rob Turner, you see, you bring up something interesting. You say what we used to call the white box and some call the wood grain box. Not so. There are differences. Minor, but there are differences. There is a different cover art, and all references to Tolkien properties, Ents, hobbits, um, and what else? Balrogs are expurgated. So they're slightly different. They're slightly different. But they're different enough that if you ever find a wood grain set in your local used bookstore, pick it up, walk to the front. If it's just sitting out on a shelf, it doesn't have a very expensive price tag on it. Pay for it calmly, bring it home, and when you stop shaking, contact Paul Stormberg. Congratulations, you've gotten anywhere from a few thousand to a couple of 10,000s, depending on the condition. I was just said OD&D, but I mean, hey, whatever works for you. Hey, there we are. 200 sets of eyes on the stream tonight total. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very, very much. An OD&D white box. I think the last time I saw one, it was you know what? Let's see. I think I've told you guys I paid like 50 or 60 bucks for this back in 2005. Let's see here. One more time. We'll do this. Share screen. So here we go. Just to kind of give you a taste of what you're looking at paying if you want to go hunting one of these now. $895, $595, $12.95, $22.95. There's thousands, $480, $585, $950. Buy it now for $1,200, etc., etc., etc. Now, there's one for $1,800. Does that mean that you're going to get that? Let's see. Let's do sold and completed items. Here's one that went for $537. There's one for $1,395, one for $2,000, one for $500. So yeah, this could be anywhere. And I mean, here's one with all the supplements that only went for $800. But it's still kind of bonkers prices. And it's just a shame because, again, at the beginning of the 2000s, you could still pick them up for 60, 50, 60, 70 bucks. Honestly, at this point, RPG Grandma, I'd grab the PDFs and just mock yourself one up. I mean, not that it's the easiest thing to, not that it's easy to do at all, really. Any loose copies of Men in Magic? Let's try TSR Men in Magic, because that's bringing up a bunch of silliness. Well, here's one for 59. Here's one for 70. Oh, that's sold and completed. 150, 175. Yeah, ouch. I didn't realize I was looking at completed items. I was about to say, oh my gosh, you can do so well. No, yeah, these current going prices are bonkers. No, I understand. I understand RPG Grandma. I do. Yeah, yeah. If see, when it comes to books like this, so this is my thinking on it. Let's say I hit the Powerball. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm a billionaire. I don't know that I would buy up rare stuff like this. I don't. And the reason why is all of the stuff that I've got, as far as like let's just take Games Workshop stuff up there. I mean, setting aside Blood Royale, I bought Blood Royale because I was feeling nouveau riche and I had a lot of money. That third edition Space Hulk set. When my dad passed away, he left us some money. And I took a little bit of it. And I said, this is, fun money for me. The majority of it went to help out around the house, but it was fun money for me. And that was the last one that they had at the store. So it's tied to that. Behind that is the second edition copy of Space Hulk that these are actually the miniatures for. My darling wife bought me that copy of Space Hulk because I had talked on and on about how much I love Space Hulk. And one Christmas, I got second edition Space Hulk, and I got Space Hulk for the PlayStation 1, the Space Hulk tactical first person shooter. All of my AD&D books, for the most part, they have some meaning behind them. Like, I have a true first Dungeon Master's Guide and Monster Manual, like true first prints. I found those for $2.50 a piece in a used bookstore, $2.50 a piece in a local used bookstore back in like 2007, 2008. I could go on eBay and buy, if I hit the lotto, I could go on eBay and buy a stack of them. But there's something different than that. There's going to the used bookstore and finding something, I've owned 15 copies of Deities and Demigods, the unexpurgated now, that people have just over the years just given to me. And I think that's kind of neat. I only have 2 now. And of those, one of them is autographed by Darlene, Errol Otis, Jim Ward, Jeff Easley. and Dave LaForce. You know, I'll never. I could buy 1,000, 10,000. I could claw back the entire print run, but that's the only one like that. And there's so many things here that are just cool like that. You know, that no amount of idle richness, of idle wealth could replace. Like, I love knowing that I only paid $60 for this. All my loose set of OD&D books, including all the supplements, they're all signed by Gary and Dave and Jim Ward and Rob Kuntz and Tim Kask and Tracy Lesh. I mean, that's value beyond anything on eBay. So, you know, if I hit the Powerball, would I run out and buy a wood grain set? It wouldn't mean anything to me. I couldn't game with it. I mean, it would just be a dick showing contest to walk into a comic store, and I'd constantly be terrified somebody was going to touch it with their greasy fingers. So do what with it? Put it in a poly bag or put it in Lexan and put it on the shelf so you guys go, oh, well, there's that rich guy who YouTubes now. And good for you. It's not like I can buy a time machine and go back to Wisconsin in 1975 and snap it up. And even if I could, that still wouldn't have the meaning to me. I mean, to be honest, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I know for a fact, and I can prove beyond any shadow of a doubt, 100%, I can cyclically put the information in your head and show you that I have your Dungeon Master's Guide from when you were 13, your Monster Manual, your Deities and Demigods, your Monster Manual 2, your copy of Keep on the Borderlands, your Basic and Expert sets. I've got them. I'll trade them to you for your True First Players Monster Manual and Dungeon Master's Guide. And I knew that it was them. Done deal. I can tell you, I could at least identify the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide because I wrote my name in them. And they were standard. You know, they weren't rares like misprints or anything like that. I'd do in a heartbeat to have those back that I scrimped and saved for. So, I mean, being idle rich, having the money to just go out and be like, I'll just pluck this off of eBay. I've decided I want a wood grain set today. I'll have a wood grain set. I mean, at a Powerball level, I might buy one and do an unboxing video here, but then I donate it to somebody, an actual RPG museum. Hell, the museum, the Gygax display in the library at Lake Geneva. You know, hey, set up a case for this. But I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't just buy one just to have, just to sit. This is like, at that point, it's not a TTRPG product anymore. It's not. Take care, Rob. I'm about out of here too. But at that point, it's like having a copy of what is it? Journey in a Mystery was the first issue that Thor appeared in back in the late 1940s, maybe even pre-war. I don't know. But I mean, that's as valuable as to beggar belief or Spider-Man. You know, you don't decide on a lazy Saturday to pop open the container that's in and read through it. You don't. But anyway, that's about all I got time for tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry Kyle couldn't make it and we didn't end up gaming. Yeah, I don't do mint in box either, RPG Grandma. And I'm not going to buy stuff just to show off and say, look at what I have. I tell everyone, because it's true, this is a working library. This is not a set. Even my little arcade games, that's the perfect height for me to stand there and play those. That's why they're there. So I'll be back tomorrow. More cool RPG stuff. Maybe we start Tegel Manor deep dive tomorrow. I'm thinking. And then on Friday, we'll play some Gamma World. I really appreciate you guys being here tonight and hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I want to say big thanks to Paladin Steve and the Vile Necromancer for the supers. You guys literally help keep the lights on around here. And the people who turn off the lights, well, we call them owl bears. Peace. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to